Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the Grey. Today's video, we're going to talk Kharadron Overlords and start collecting Warhammer Age of Sigmar. In this video, we're going to look at the Kharadron Overlords Vanguard box set in particular, take a look at how we can use this box set to start an army for the brand new General Handbook in Andtor. Now, we're going to go through the contents of this box set, talk a little bit about all the units that come inside the box set, what they do on the tabletop, and indeed the options we have when building said kits. We'll then look at some other units we recommend to expand upon after this initial purchase, to expand your collection and hopefully give you some other units that work really well in the current edition of Warhammer Age of Sigmar. And then at the end of the video, we'll give you a little sample army list for you to use, hopefully as some inspiration for starting your own Kharadron Overlords force in Andtor. And so, to begin with, first of all, this box set is led by an Archnaut Admiral. This is the Kharadron Overlord sort of standard martial hero. 6 wounds and a 3-up save is pretty nice for a small hero. You do have 3 attacks at 3s and 2s in combat with -2 rend and damage 3. You've got quite a cool couple of rules. First of all, you have the Admiral's Flagship, where if this unit is the general of your Kharadron Overlord's army, you can pick an Archnaut Ironclad or Archnaut Frigate in your army to be its flagship. You record this information on your roster, and once per turn, the unit can be issued a command to its flagship without a command point being spent. Now, Bring Every Gun to Bear is a command ability you've got where you can use. This unit can receive the command, must be a friendly sky vessel that's more than 3 inches from all enemy units, and that has remained stationary in the preceding movement phase and did not receive the Fly High command in the preceding movement phase either. You add one to the attached characteristic of its melee missile weapon, so get some extra shots out with your ship. You've then got Grudge Breaker rounds as well. Once per battle at the start of your shooting phase, you can pick a friendly Kharadron Overlord unit that's not a sky vessel, and that is wholly within 12 inches of this unit until the end of that phase. You improve the rend of those weapons. Or you've also got the Command Skies. We can use this command ability at the start of your movement phase. If the unit that receives this command, they must be a friendly sky vessel more than 3 inches from all enemy units, and that unit can re-roll run rolls in that phase. In addition, it can also run and shoot or charge later in the turn as well. Now, the unit we get in here that is the battle line option is the Archnaut Company. Standard battle line, their battle line at all times in a Kharadron Overlord's force. You've got a variety of different weapons you can pick as their little special weapons. They'll get a light skyhook, which is cool for shooting at monsters. It gets more guaranteed damage if it's shooting at a monster. You've got the Sky Pike, which is a nice little additional combat weapon as well. And then you've also got your Athematic Volley Gun as well, which puts out 2d6 shots at a 15-inch range. Other than that, you've got the Glory Seekers rule, where while this unit is not embarked, you can add 1 to hit rolls for attacks made by this unit if the target it is targeting is on an objective. We then get 3 models which are a dual kit. This is either Engine Riggers or the Sky Wardens. Engine Riggers, as their name might suggest, are sort of mechanics for the force. They can heal your different sky vessels with the emergency field repairs rule. And then they can also take a variety of different special weapons. The Skyhook, again, can get a little bit of extra damage to monsters. Grapnel Launcher is really cool for providing some extra move. And the Drill Launcher as well can do a bit of mortal wound damage if need be. The big thing, though, is their combat ability for the Engine Riggers. They do have 2 attacks at 3s and 3s, rend 2, damage d3, so a nice amount of damage coming out of them. The Sky Wardens being the other option for the kit, they are going to have the same weapon options as upgrades. So they've got, the Sky Pike, the Drill Launcher, the Grapnel Launcher, all of that. But you've also got time charges. We can do a little bit of mortal wounds at the end of the combat phase. And your Sky Pikes are your combat weapon with 3 attacks, 3s and 3s, rend 1, damage 2. Now, lastly, inside this box set, we also get one of said sky vessels in an Archnaut Frigate, which is really cool. This is a 15 wound, 3+ save behemoth, and you've got the option here for either your heavy sky cannon, which has 2 different shooting profiles, one more solid round, and your shrapnel round as well, puts out more shots but a less damaging version. Or you've got the heavy skyhook as well, which is a d6 damage shot, but this does get that a little bit better at fighting against monsters. Assault boat is really cool. When this thing charges, you can actually have the rest of your units inside the boat jump out and join the combat, which is really cool. And bomb racks as well, you can do a little bit of mortal wounds if you've moved or run over enemy units, which is nice. Today's video is brought to you by Gap Games, a fantastic retailer in Australia for a variety of different miniature war games. If you'd like to help support the channel, we have an affiliate link where by clicking on and purchasing, you'll help support the channel, but you'll also help support Gap Games, which is a fantastic servant to the community. And so, where to go next for your force? And the first unit I want to look at are a couple of the different characters we have that are really useful for your Kharadron Overlords force. The first of these is the Aetheric Navigator. Now, what's cool about this is it's going to be one of the ways you get a built-in unbind straight into your force. This model can unbind one spell or dispel one spell in the same manner as a wizard each turn. But then you've also got the Read the Winds ability, where in your hero phase you can say that one friendly unit with this ability will read the winds. You then roll 6 dice, then pick one of the following effects. For each roll of a 1, if you pick Aether Storm, you pick a different enemy unit within 30 inches of this unit, and they'll suffer D3 mortal wounds. In addition, any mortal wounds caused by this ability are allocated to an enemy unit and not negated. You halve the move characteristic of said enemy unit, so really cool way to help sort of further push your maneuverability advantage on someone. Or you've got favourable conditions where you can pick a friendly sky vessel for each one of those 6s that is rolled and hits the target number. And then that sky vessel can make a normal move of D3 plus 3 inches, which is really cool. Now, the next character I want to talk about is the Code Writer. I think he's a really solid character. He's going to allow you with his, I think you'll find, allowing you to switch up. You can carry out the following heroic action with him, and you roll a dice. On a 1, nothing happens. On a 2, 3, you can pick a new footnote to apply for your army until the end of the battle. But on a 4+, you can pick a new footnote and or new amendment. This really does allow you to sort of change up your army, change how you're fighting, depending on what you're trying to target in your opponent's army, depending on what you're trying to do on the table. I think he is almost an essential piece for a Kharadron Overlords force. On top of that as well, at the start of your hero phase, if this unit is within 6 inches of another friendly Kharadron Overlords hero, you roll 2 dice and for each 4+, receive a command point. Now we don't have the Grundstock Thunderers, and these can become battle line in a variety of different ways for your force, either by picking particular subfactions or by picking a type of command trait as well. Grundstock Thunderers have 2 wounds each, which is really nice, and they've got a variety of different special weapons. From the Aether Cannon that has a 1 attack, 3s and 2s, Ren 2, damage 3. The Grundstock Mortar that is going to put out a nice little amount of shots into your opponent, but 3s and 3s, Ren 1, no Ren, damage 1. And then your Deck Sweeper puts out a nice amount of shots. Your Etheric Fumigator can help with a nice sort of auto-hitting profile. And then you've got your Aether Shot Rifles as well in the unit. You do have some extra rules in here, so your Choking Fog attacks made with the Etheric Fumigator will hit automatically, as mentioned, but in addition, at the end of the combat phase, you can pick an enemy unit within 3 inch and on a 2+ that will suffer D3 mortal wounds. Explosive shells from your mortar means the attack characteristic of a Grundstock Mortar is equal to the number of mortars in a target unit, to a maximum of 5. Suppressing fire as well, each time this unit shoots after all its attacks have been resolved. If every model in this unit shot and targeted the same unit, you roll 2d6, you add the number to the roll caused by the wounds, and if this score exceeds the unit's bravery, it is suppressed and they subtract 1 from hit rolls. Now, lastly, we have the Grundstock Gun Hauler. This is the smallest version of the ship, but I think for your second ship, if you're probably trying to fit something in, this would be the way you go. You can take a particular upgrade on this that allows you to have some transport capacity, but effectively, this is a moving little cannon. You can have either the Drill Cannon for 1 shot, Ren 3, damage 3, or Ren 2 on the Sky Cannon shell version, but you also get the option of the Shrapnel version on that Sky Cannon as well. And so here we have our sample army list for the Kharadron Overlords. Now we've gone for Barrack Mourner as our subfaction for them. This I think is probably one of my favourite subfactions. Can really play around with your opponent's ability to actually use commands effectively on the tabletop. And then we've also gone for the grand strategy Slaughter of Sorcery, trying to take out all our opponent's wizards. Now, we then have the code that we get to pick for all of this, which is really fun. So, to begin with, remembering we can change these up thanks to our code right in the Force that we'll talk about in just a second. But we've got always take what you are owed as our amendment. This allows an Archanaut company to count 2 models and objectives. We then have our article as well, which is going to be Settle the Grudges. We can pick an enemy unit to gain +1 a wound against after we've deployed everything on the table. And then also there's no reward without risk, allows us to do a big supercharge once per game. Now, leader-wise, in the Force, we've got the Code Right and the Nullstone Adornments is going to be the hand-carved Nullstone icon, which allows us to unbind a spell, but if we successfully unbind with said unbind from the Code Right, we can continue to unbind until we fail one. Archanaut Admiral is going to have the command trait X Grundstock. This is just simply going to allow the model here to take Grundstock as battle line, the most important part of it, but it is also going to allow us to issue a command to a friendly Grundstock unit without a command point being spent each turn. And then we have an Etheric Navigator with the Voidstone Orb, which is just a once per game automatic dispel. Now, Battle line wise, Grunstock Thunder is in there with one of each weapon and a gunnery sergeant, with the Honor Bearer token as well. And then the Archnaut Company with the company captain. We've got a light skyhook, skypike, aethermatic volley gun, and an aether flare pistol on the company captain. Behemoth wise, we have the Archnaut frigate, the heavy sky cannon. It's also the Archnaut's flagship, but we've also got prudency shoots as well. I think in smaller games when you've got less ships, when it's probably going to get targeted a little bit, prudency shoots are almost a must. This is going to allow you to keep your units safe in case the Archnaut's big ship here decides to blow up. Otherwise, we have the 3 engine riggers who have a mizzen master leading them. None of the special weapons. I think the aethermatic swords are the way to go on them. And then we have 2 core battalions. So we've got the engine riggers, the Grunstock Thunderers, and the Archnaut Admiral all in the Wizard Finders of Andor. And actually, the Archnaut frigate's in there as well if it ever gets to, use it. Maybe sometime. This allows you to get some extra damage in on enemy wizards. Then we also have a Vanguard detachment. This allows our Archnaut Company and the Etheric Navigator to join that. What I think is really cool about this is it actually allows you a free once per game at the double, which is the auto run. This is really cool for late game. If those Archnaut Company have sat in the backfield, not been touched, they can maybe move up to a mid-table objective and help you control that if need be. But if you've got some ideas on how you would play your Kharadron Overlords with the current season in Andor, let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And so, thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more content, and also drop a comment down below letting us know what you thought about the video. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our fun little community, we have a Discord server which is linked down in the video's description, and also linked down in the video's description are the best ways to help support the channel, either by Patreon or YouTube members, or by grabbing yourself some merch from our Teespring store as well. All of those are linked down in the video's description, and a special thank you to our YouTube members and patrons. We'd like to give you all a shout out, so thank you to our YouTube members John Castle, Disco, James Tillman, Monty's Tabletop Terrain, Ariana Edwards, Broken Chef, the Johnny84, Loch Lorick, Ronya, Green Roots Gaming, and our patrons Wasaren, Kenny Lyle, Outer and Shot First, Andrew Bowen, Cure Dynamic, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Benjamin Swallows, Redman, Iron Grinch, Colorblind Magic, Grimscold, and Andy C. Thank you all once again, everyone. Stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the grey. Ciao for now.